All right, guys, we made it. I had to listen to that countdown music 7 times. Welcome to the. It's not your fault, Todd. It's not your fault. That voice from on high, Todd. He just unseen and heard. Oh my gosh, it wasn't your fault, Todd. It's technology. God bless technology, man. But Satan lives inside of it, and we're trying to redeem this, man. Thank you guys for joining. You're in the chat over on Graham's channel. You're in the chat on my channel on Rumble. Many of you are over there still submitting to the Google overlords on YouTube. Welcome to the program. If you are listening by way of where podcasts are offered, Spotify, or iHeart, Apple, all those places, welcome to the show. You are now subject to my voice for the next few minutes. Wow, what a morning. It was incredible. We live streamed it with Dear America. Many of you were there. Thank you for joining us. 3 hours long. We got through the headlines, but man, more importantly, we got into that beautiful, beautiful inauguration, the pomp and circumstance, the tradition, the ceremony, all of it. Donald Trump's speech was incredible. Might have been the best one he's ever done. I don't know. Could have been the best one. It was pretty fabulous, but it was amazing. It was unifying. It was exactly what I think America needs. If people will just have ears to hear, we will make America great again. We will show you the epitome of building back better and what that entails. There's so many things to be excited about. And not the least of which, without further ado, is we got America's favorite redneck, Hot Seat Todd, is not only producing.
Dude, man.
You okay? Look at us. We kind of.
I'm good.
We're like flannel brothers today.
I know. You know, I've got a black, what my wife calls a puffer, and I almost put that on, and that just would have been weird.
Well, it's cold here where I am, and it's my house is cold because I have to turn the heat off because we're upstairs in the studio, and the heat rises. Nobody cares about what I'm saying right now, but when I go downstairs, it's absolutely freezing. My Audi becomes an innie, and that is not a fun situation to be in the middle of. Anyway, I'm glad everybody's with us. If you are where podcasts are offered, leave us a rating and review. That helps us so much in the rankings. They're vanity rankings, but man, they sure do look good. We love seeing our name up there. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. If you are over on my Rumble channel, and maybe it's for the first time, go out and hit subscribe. Let's grow all of ours, as well as Hot Seat Todd. Make sure that you are following him on social media, Todd Spear 1776.
Sir, yes, sir.
And let's see you in the chat. I want to pay attention to the chat, and I'm going to get into I want to show you some things today. I want us to look back, and I know we're all looking forward, but I think that the history of where we've come from has got to be indelibly etched in our mind, because if we got to remember how horrible this nightmare of the Biden administration has been. We have literally been run not only by bureaucrats, but we have been run by interns and people that are gender confused and ideologically confused. And what Trump said today that got all those applause breaks, the things he was saying in the speech, was not radical. It was normal, common sense, how you run a country type of stuff. And we were treating it like it was the most profound, exciting thing, brought a tear to our eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's just an indicator, Todd, of where we've been in this country. It's insane.
Yeah, it's just common sense. And you know, as rednecks and cowboys, we don't call it common sense anymore. We call it good sense because it ain't common anymore. And I have to say, I have to agree with you, man. Like, Trump didn't really say anything that was just profound and amazing. And it was just common sense. You run the country like he runs a business, and you'll be fine. I mean, common sense.
And if everybody will stay out of his way, I think there's going to be a different atmosphere. I think with the majority of the country voting for Donald Trump, I think they're going to give him a shot this time. I don't think last time they gave him a shot. I don't think he truly had an opportunity to get things done. Imagine if people had just gotten out of his way and just opened up a door. But you're going to have these again, the liberal progressive rerees out there protesting and doing all their kind of crazy stuff. I still encourage everybody, don't live in fear, but live in awareness. Keep your head on a swivel, stay strapped, and stay frosty. I mean, I hate to even have to say that living in this country that we have to worry about these things, but people are angry. They are absolutely just the vitriol is insane. These people are just, they've lost all sense, good sense, common sense, all the sense. It's the sense are down the drain. So, Todd, deep sigh of relief. Take a deep breath. I'm going to drink my Magic Mind. it reminded me. I was perusing the internet after our show, and I saw my friend Brian Callen. He was talking about Magic Mind. I was like, "Ooh, I got to take my Magic Mind today." Magic Mind is like that clean energy. Have you ever taken any of these, Todd?
I've never even, once you sent me the link and I just happened to look at it, I was like, what in the world is.
Yeah, they
honestly,
say it's
I
like
thought you said Magic Mike, and I got a little nervous.
That's a whole other elixir, my friend. That's a whole other liquid. But the Magic Mind, this is it's a clean energy. And so I've been telling everybody there's like a bundle deal you can get. This is the morning one. You can also get the ashwagandha for the evening one. And you go to magicmind.com/Chad, Jan, Chad for January. And they'll give you a deal over there if you use promo code Prather on the bundle. You'll get up to 50% off. So, Royce, I've got Royce on these things as well. And I think I've got a brand new shipment in my mailbox right now that I got to go pick up. But Magic Mind, this stuff is clean energy. All the energy drinks and stuff like that, they want you to take the 7-day challenge and do it. It's fuel for your brain. You will get used to these things. You'll take them every day, and it tastes fine. It tastes perfectly fine. So this will help you perform better, and it'll help you sleep better. So, yeah, get them. All the good stuff. Magicmind.com/Chad, Jan. Jan. They're going to put my picture on that website.
I agree. I think we need a beautiful cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as much as I talk about them.
Yeah,
they need to do it. But anyway, check out Magic Mind.
I'm not disagreeing with that statement at all.
Yeah, I've heard some guys say that's like an all natural Adderall.
I don't know if I need that, man. Yeah. I'd be sitting at the house just staring at the wall and looking at the pretty pictures.
It's pretty good. Indian Act said Chad in his third outfit change of the day. Technically, it's my fourth. I woke up naked. So I had the jersey on, which I think some people bought the jersey, the Trump jersey, the Trump 47. You can go to PratherTees.com. Check that out. You can also go to WatchChad.com. Next week, I am in Austin, Texas. Cap City Comedy Club. I'll be there Thursday night. Friday night, I am in Waco, I believe, and then I'm going to be in Granbury, Texas. So it's going to be a full weekend. WatchChad.com. Check it out. Oh, boy. Todd, you got to breathe that sigh of relief, man. It's just everybody can breathe that fresh air again with Trump coming in, man.
But do you, though? Because, I mean, I get
for now. You take a second to breathe, and then we got to go back to it.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, man, and I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. Honestly, since he won the election and since he announced Tom Homan, I am seriously worried about all the major cities in our country once this mass deportation, this border lockdown thing happens. Yeah. I mean, because these people are going to get desperate. I mean, you start thinking about and not just like look at what crossed the border, military-aged men, and the fact that now they're going to be hunted and they're going to be forced back. That creates desperation, and these people are already like scum of their country. So can you imagine what's going to start happening in cities like Austin and Colorado and Chicago, New York City, and things like that? Dude, I'm telling you, if you live in a major city in America, you better buy a helmet and keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah. And I said over and over again, when the government cheese dries up, people get really desperate. Well, that cheese is about to dry up for a lot of folks.
Yeah, it
and
is.
So if you're in a major city, you definitely want to be cautious. You want to be careful and pay attention to your surroundings, because there's going to be we're going to see some stuff. You're going to see acts of violence that are going to happen. You're going to see riots. There will be a lot of things that are going to take place. By and large, it's going to happen in our big cities. And that, my friends, be careful where you go, what you do. Click like, click subscribe, share it with your family and friends, folks. We're going to get into this thing. You're going to enjoy this one. You can use headphones over there if you want. I got a live audience in here, and you can use those headphones over there if you want to listen to the show. We got people, dude. I'm telling you, just live audience. People just come in here and start.
Well,
watching.
I mean, it's Chad Prather. What do you expect?
Can I give them just one more? You should see this room, Todd. Can I just give my scared the hell out of the dog this morning?
Hold on, let me get you big.
Get it in there. This thing is this is a workout to do this thing. But the dog went down, got in her crate, and she has not come out in the last 4 hours. My border doodle Addie, she is not happy about it. Here we go, America. I don't know if I'm strong enough to do this one. Here we go. There it is. I feel it. It's coming up. That was fun. Nobody wants to talk about what just happened. Nobody wants to talk about that.
That was great.
This room.
I'm glad I got to witness that. Thank you, Royce, for being in
Yeah.
D.C. so I could witness that.
This room is covered in confetti. It is crazy.
Yeah, you better leave the dog in the crater. You're going to find a whole bunch of confetti sprinkled out throughout your whole yard.
That's the truth. It's going to have some sprinkled poops everywhere. All right, well, as we promised, we want to give you 25 photos that define Biden's disastrous legacy. We're going to give them to you in order. We're going to take them back. Now, I know there's a lot of folks that could comment on this, and you would tell me that there's some others that should be included in there, and I think so. These are from Ben Q, at Ben_Q. These are his. And I want us to take a look at them. Here's the first one, and we talked about this earlier today. We saw Trump's cabinet, and that looked like the Avengers assembled. And now this was, if you go back in the middle of the pandemic, when Joe Biden took office. These are the socially distant cabinet members, every one of them masked up, as you would expect them to be. And that right there is the epitome of the beginning of an administration. A bunch of they're cucks. Okay, let's just call it what it is.
100%.
This is not, this is such soy energy, man. I don't know how you get milk out of a soybean, but there it is. That's the epitome of it with the masks, and again, that's the legacy right there. The next one, roll it on down. There's so many to get to here. Roll it on down, Todd. You've got these were the gas prices right here. Look at that. I mean, how about
man?
I mean, we all experienced that. You could talk about California. You could talk about New York. You could talk about the gas prices in some of these blue states. But this was a reality for a lot of us across the country. I mean, even here in the great state of Texas, I can remember when diesel was got up to almost like $6 a gallon. I mean, it was incredible. And for a person who drives up and down the road all the time. So for them to sit there, and I loved what Trump did. Trump threw all of it back in the Biden administration's face. He threw it in Joe and Kamala's face this morning, talking about how we're going to get rid of this record inflation. Listen, when it was costing me $135 to fill up a Ford F-250, get up and down the road. I don't know about you guys, but that's expensive for anybody.
Well, the question I've always had, and this is the reason I have this question is because I honestly don't know the answer, is Trump has run on a platform for the last year that we have all the oil we need right here.
Yeah.
So this right here, what you're looking at, for me, and again, I live my life and make every decision based on two things. Number one, is it biblical? Number two, does it pass the common sense test? Yeah. And if Trump is accurate in what he says, that drill, baby, drill, and we've got all the liquid gold that we need here, this shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could blow up the chat with a DBD, that drill, baby, drill, put it in there. The DBD matters. I mean, we're going to be drilling in the Gulf of America. I love that he said that this morning. Fantastic. Made the hair on the back of my head stand up. We got more oil resources underneath our feet here in America than all of the Middle East. So we got to stop listening to the climate cultists and the environmentalists and the people that are out there hugging the trees and get back to energy independence. And so that's going to happen. You're going to see it happen very, very fast. I'm excited. And I don't know, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have been watching the executive orders and things like that. I don't know if he's even gotten to signing those things yet. I know
somebody in the chat just said the signing ceremony is taking place right now. Yeah,
because I know they have the inaugural lunch, which a lot of the former presidents and their wives were going to be skipping, which is fine. Anyway, number 3, you see the Guatemalan migrant caravan that was coming up to the United States through the southern border. Look at that mass of people. We saw 10 million verifiable human beings come across during the Biden administration. Arguably a whole lot more than that. Trump's main focus right now is going to be that executive order that closes the border, shut it down, close it down. He's also went in and he named the cartels domestic or international terrorists. So that is huge. And that,
big deal right
man,
there.
that's going to be a big deal. There's got to be. You just don't want. I echo what you said earlier. You don't want to be a cartel member with a handful of Delta guys on your tail.
You don't, and that's exactly what happens. And Sean Ryan, he talked about this, and so did Rogan talked about this on his podcast as well. Was the second that Trump labels the cartel an international terrorist organization, then the tier 1 operators, and we're talking about the guys that take you out and you don't even know they're in the room with you.
Yeah,
you know?
They kill you in your sleep. You don't know you're dead. You just wake up dead.
Yeah, exactly. And these dudes are like patriots above patriots above patriots. They kill for a living, and they are foaming at the mouth. And so I'm telling you, if you're a cartel, bro, you better find another country. Like you better go to another. Let me back up. Another continent, because your time here is over.
Yeah,
like it's done.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna happen. I mean this stuff. I mean, when you talk about the fentanyl crossing the southern border, not only those in the cartels below our border, but the Chinese that have been responsible for them getting the fentanyl. I mean, the hundreds of thousands of deaths that the fentanyl is responsible for, the human trafficking, the missing 400,000 children that are currently, missing from the U.S., and there's probably a lot more than that. These people are, they killing people, executing people, hanging their bodies from the bridges. And I've said it for years. They need to name them, transnational narco-terrorists. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is doing. I've lived for this day, man.
And then not to mention how many Middle Eastern descent, ISIS, Al-Qaeda members. I mean, you had that one dude cross the border, and the reporter asked him what his name was, and he just looked at him and said, "You will find out my name really soon."
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay, snatch that guy up, put him in cuffs, take him to an undisclosed black bag location. Let's get some waterboarding back and figure out what your name is and where the hell you came from.
And that's the thing. I mean, we're going to push past this political correct BS nonsense that's straight out of the pit of hell and get back to taking care of business as it should be taken care of. So let's go. Let's get after it. The next clip, or the next picture there, of course, everybody knows the iconic shot of him. This was the early stages right here. We knew the man was in mental decline, but this was when we knew that he was not competent, not agile, not virile, not strong at all. He couldn't walk upstairs. It's one thing to fall downstairs, Todd. But when you're struggling to walk,
to fall up a flight of steps, it takes talent.
He did it so many times that there's 23 stairs on that staircase that goes up to the top of Air Force One. They took that away from him. They put him on the kiddie steps. They put him on the 14 stairs into the belly of the beast, sent him into the luggage compartment, and he was even struggling up that. This is a guy whose biggest enemies throughout his administration were teleprompters and sandbags.
Yeah, and walkways, doors. He'd finish an interview and he'd go.
Yeah, wandering around, just shaking hands with nobody.
Yeah,
which
shaking hands with ghosts.
We'll get to that one in a minute. And then, of course, the Afghanistan withdrawal, number 5. The Afghanistan, that was a debacle. And just the images that came out of them trying to pull out of Afghanistan, one of arguably, if not the worst military operations in terms of, especially in terms of an evacuation out of a war zone.
In history.
Ever in history.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt, you had a former president of the United States look at a member of Al-Qaeda, slide him a picture of his house and say, "We're going to get out of here, but if one hair is harmed on an American head, I'm blowing your house up. And I don't care if you and your whole family is in it."
Yeah, and this deal here, the fact that they left behind all the equipment and did not throttle it or at least dismantle it made it unusable. This is when we started this. I think we knew it ahead of time, but this is really where we started saying this guy is not for America. Not at all. And of course, you can go down to number 6. You have the next one on the list. Of course, you have the 13 dead soldiers who died during the suicide explosions there at Abbey Gate, Bagram Airport. I mean, this 13 service members that died senselessly. This should not have happened.
For no reason.
No reason whatsoever. And then, of course, one of the pictures that we could throw in here was that picture of Joe Biden checking his watch when these bodies were delivered back to the United States ceremonially. And Joe's got better things to do, I guess. I don't know if he was checking nap time or what time the plane was leaving to go back to Rehoboth Beach. But this was...
Yeah, if his brain had the ability to burn these images in it, I hope it does. But we all know that, I mean, the dude can't walk and chew gum at the same time. So unfortunately, this is 13 needless deaths that never should have happened, and there's not a person on this planet that can argue with this statement. If Donald Trump was the president, they would still be with us.
Yeah, that's right. Striker Jay said he was angry because it was past his ice cream hour. Probably not wrong, my friend. I don't know if you guys have ever paid attention to the fact, but the reason why, and I've talked about it on my show numerous times, the reason why they keep giving Joe ice cream is because you can go to alz.org. That's the Alzheimer's website, and you can look up the therapy of ice cream for dementia and Alzheimer's patients. It actually keeps them lucid for a short period of time because the cold in their mouth actually brings their brain back around. So that's why when you saw him out in public, he was usually eating his chocolate chip. And that's another thing that we were duped. The American people were duped to believe that this guy in any way, shape, or form was competent. But I can remember calling it back during the primaries, saying Joe Biden will be the guy. I don't care how many people they ran for president. Joe Biden was going to be the guy because at that point in time, he'd been in the country club long enough. They finally made him chairman of the board. And he was selected. He was installed. His incompetence was known about it. Don't forget what Barack Obama said. Never underestimate Joe's ability to F something up. They all knew that about him.
Forgot about that.
Been that way his entire 53 whatever year career in Washington, D.C. This guy's an empty suit. And then come down to number 7, the vaccine mandates. Remember when he tried to do that? He was going to didn't work, though. Thank God.
Yeah. Well, for a lot of us, it didn't.
Yeah, that was he was going to introduce the vaccine mandates via executive order, but again, it's unconstitutional. You can't pass an executive order that causes people to get some kind of universal medical treatment. So they were like, nope, that's not constitutional. But this has been the nature of this administration the entire time. It's going to be finger or fist. They were either going to give you the finger and tell you this is what you're going to do by pointing at you, or they were going to give you the fist. If telling you what to do, they were going to force you to do it. And this was the summary of this administration. Thankfully, that didn't work.
Yeah, this particular thing was common sense. Common sense and logic just went out and hypocrisy went out the window. And when they started doing this stuff, and they had the you got to do it. You have to do it. And Jimmy Kimmel was like, you're going to kill everybody around you, and blah, blah. And Stephen Colbert took off and ran with it. And I'm sitting back going, wait a minute, y'all are the party that says my body, my choice. Okay, like when it comes to, they don't use the term abortion anymore. They use women's reproductive freedoms.
Right.
It's like calling a janitor, the whatever term, custodial engineer. Because they like to label things like that so it doesn't hurt people's feelings. But, my body, my choice. Well, okay, I'll take the vaccine if you start wearing a condom, Common sense.
One would think it should be. One would think it should be some common sense, but it's all not too common anymore. And we don't know what the later ramifications are going to be. We have a lot of indicators of what they're pushing of this mRNA, which is not a vaccine, but pushing that treatment. I don't believe Joe Biden ever got a single shot. I think when they had him on that set of the White House or whatever they were doing, and they were putting on a show with his sleeve rolled up his arm, they were shoving saline in him. I just don't believe it. But again, as of this morning, Joe Biden last minute pardoned Anthony Fauci. So I pray that they find the end around and go after him. The states go after him, whatever. This is absolutely insane. And then, of course, there was number 8, the illegal invasion, because not only were they coming up from Guatemala, as we pointed out earlier, they were coming from everywhere. I mean, we were seeing 165 nations represented in the encounters at the southern border on the part of Border Patrol.
Look at all them women and children.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of them. I don't see too many of them.
One woman right there.
Yeah,
one woman.
And I want to remind everybody of our Border Patrol agent. And they took the horses off the border because of that photo where the Haitian, that Haitian illegal was slapping some women and children around down by the river. And that cowboy went down there and separated him out. And he was running away with his, bag of Wendy's or whatever it was. And it looked like he was whipping him. He had a split rein on the bridle of the horse, and that thing was flying out. And they took the horses off of the southern border, which is one of the most effective ways to police the southern border, all in the name of these woke ideologies. How dare they do something like that? The illegal invasion, 10 million people that we know of entered.
Yeah, and that's the scary part, that we know of.
Yeah. And then, of course, number 9, pushing back. Parents protest the school closures and the vaccine mandates in California as the Democrats refused to lift the restrictions imposed during the coronavirus pandemic. People started waking up. I mean, for one thing, when you don't see the flu for 3.5 years, and you're like, oh, we're still having it. We got to pull our kids out of school. We got to put them in front of another screen, another Zoom call. People started seeing what their kids were actually being taught in school, and then they were trying to push the quote blah blahs on. Everybody was getting the medical procedure. They're like, nope, we're not doing that. We're not going to do that. So
yeah, our kids, because I had all of my boys, all 5 of them. Were in school during this, and so I was working for the government at the time. Kendra was a counselor at the school, and so every one of us was at the house, for a year. And I love my boys to death, but they got dumber because of this. I mean, and I'm sure, and people don't really, because Kendra was a counselor, and people don't really think they think education. What about the kids that the only meal they got was at that school? The only breakfast they got to eat, the only lunch they got to eat, that was their break away from getting beat by a guardian or not being fed or being locked into a closet. Like, the school was their safe space, and you just snatched that away from it. So this was a nightmare all in itself.
It was, and people started to realize the government ain't your friend. There was a fear tactic. They were doing everything they could, and suicides went up. Depression went up. The medications for depression went up. Teenage suicides went through the roof. There was all these mental health issues that were, because you just can't isolate people like that, especially kids who do need a social environment, and they weren't getting it. And I'm not a fan of the public education system. I'm not a fan of anything that they push. I think it's brainwashing on the part of a Marxist socialist system. But you're right. I mean, a lot of kids, that's the only thing they had. Yeah. And you're pulling them back out. And not the least of which, you're taking them out and putting them back in front of a screen, which is not good. That's not the educational process. The number 10 one, and we got to roll. Number 10 was nap time. We all know about old Joe. There he is
buddy.
Over there in Africa. Couldn't stay awake. He just couldn't process everything they had coming his way, man. Gosh, I'm gonna miss this guy, right? I was afraid.
I know.
I mean, when they had all those guys praying today, they were finishing the ceremony this morning with 3 different prayers. They had the rabbi, and then they had the preacher from Detroit, and then they had the other guy. And I was like, Joe, he ain't gonna make it through. He ain't gonna make it through this much prayer time.
Give that man some B12.
He ain't gonna last. Give old Joe a B12 shot. Give him some Magic Mind.
Or some Magic Mike, whichever. Something to wake him up.
It's funny. And then, of course, number 11, Putin. Putin saw what happened in Afghanistan. It empowered him. And Putin decided he was going to invade Ukraine. That was under Biden's watch. It would have never happened under Trump's watch. It would have never happened. And so he said, listen, we're not gonna do this. We're not going to fight back. We're not going to push back. Well, that's, now we're $400 billion in taxpayer funds later that have gone to make Volodymyr Zelensky and a whole lot of other people oligarchs over there. And again, would have never happened under Donald Trump. And then there was the confirmation hearing of Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, and that launched. And we're forgetting the one thing that's funny is at the NASCAR race when the "Let's Go Biden" chant took off and became or "Let's Go Brandon" when LGB "Let's Go Brandon" took off as a thing when they were saying "F Joe Biden." that became part of our vocabulary. This also helped shape our vocabulary. Not a biologist, when they were asking her to define what a woman was, and she said, I'm not a biologist.
Yeah, greatest answer ever. Like that sparked the whole "what is a woman" conversation right there. Like, Lord have mercy.
That's so funny, dude. But I mean, that's we're still having that conversation about what is a woman. I think Trump, in his speech today after the inauguration, pretty much defined that. We're going to get rid of all of this kind of stuff. And let me just remind everybody that this woman is still a Supreme Court justice, and she is also still a radical idiot. Number 13, The Freak Show. Remember Admiral Richard Levine and Sam Brenton? There's not a whole lot.
Luggage thief. The luggage thief.
Yeah, the luggage thief who got charged with stealing the suitcases had to resign, and then of course Richard/Rachel, the Admiral Levine, the epitome of a DEI hire. There was so many of these across the board during the Biden administration. We're getting away from this crap. We're not going to have it anymore.
Yet they hollering about the qualifications of Pete Hegseth, Pamela Bondi, Kash Patel, RFK, all that, and then Exhibit A, America. There you go, right there. Okay.
Neither of them make good-looking women. I can say that as someone who doesn't make a good-looking woman.
Yeah, I agree.
And I know that people want to look forward. They want to look forward to what we've got coming. I want to remind you how bad it has been for the last 4 years.
Yes.
This is how bad. If you agree with me, I want you to click like on the show. Click like, share it, tell everybody, because this is important stuff. Everybody needs to be reminded what we came out of. These have been some dark, dark days. Mm-hmm. This is what the woke mind virus gets you. This is what trying to be a globalist gets you. This is what, leveling the playing field and trying to make America like all the other nations and all the other stupidity and letting agendas and ideologies and narratives drive your policy. This is the crap you get. Those days are over. Like we said, Donald Trump's speech was just common sense.
That's it. Wasn't nothing amazing about it. I mean, I have to be honest, it just wasn't. I mean, I could have gave that speech.
Yeah.
It's just common sense. I'm just a redneck from Mississippi, and I could have handled that one for him.
And it was like a dying man getting oxygen. Joe Biden, number 14, remember when he fell off his bike?
That was great.
Joe's out for a Sunday ride, and he stops to talk to the press, and he's going to come riding up, and badonk, he falls right over.
Oh, God, I love that moment.
And oh, man. We knew we were in trouble, Todd.
Oh, big time. Big time.
This is the guy. This is the guy who forget the corn pop speeches, forget all of that kind of stuff. They posted yesterday that he and Jill wanted to go to South Carolina, and then they went to that African Methodist church. And I was like, was corn pop there? Was there any girls, little kids there to rub the blonde hairs down on your leg? This guy, but we knew we were in trouble. This is the guy with the nuclear codes, or at least he should have the nuclear codes, but I don't even know if he had those. Number 15, the fentanyl crisis.
Horrible.
Anywhere you went in America, you saw this. I mean, any major city you were in, these homeless encampments had become major communities. Addicts, fentanyl, smuggled in by Mexican drug cartels through the southern border. It's a sad, sad state. It's a humanitarian crisis.
There are areas in certain major cities because of this cartel, illegal open border fentanyl, because that's what it is. It is the cartel open border fentanyl crisis, because that's where this is coming from.
Yeah.
But it has basically turned several of our streets in our major cities into an episode of The Walking Dead, because that's what these people look like.
Yeah.
And it's just it's horrible.
I was out in San Diego the end of last year doing some shows, and I mean, the sophistication of these communities is crazy. I mean, these tent communities that are out there in some of our most beautiful places in America. California's become a third world country. I'm in Austin, Texas next week. I try to avoid Austin like the plague, because it is plagued by people that, those people, they choose to live a transient lifestyle.
I like living in trash piles. I love it.
I mean, they do it. I mean, you want to talk about keeping Austin weird? That's the phrase over there. It's pretty weird when you want to choose to live homeless. But the mental health crisis, as well as the fentanyl and all of that, it's an epidemic. And then, of course, there was Joe Biden, who was trying to shake hands with the thin air.
There it is.
I mean, he did that a couple of times. It wasn't just once.
Really did.
It wasn't just once. There were several times where he just, turns around and he sees dead people.
I guess. He
Oh,
must.
my
He's trying
gosh.
to shake hands with his Uncle Rufus that got eaten by cannibals.
And let me tell you something, Todd. There's a lot of memes that are coming out, little screenshots that are confirming what we said on the Dear America show this morning. One, you got Bill Clinton, who couldn't take his eyes off of Carrie Underwood. And then you have the pictures of Mark Zuckerberg getting busted
Just
looking at
staring
Jeff
at him.
Bezos' fiance in her low-cut, store-bought hoochie mamas.
Hoochie mamas.
Hoochie mamas. Whew. So we were right about all of that stuff. But Joe, you remember when Joe went out and he was trying to introduce the congresswoman who had been dead from the car wreck 6 months prior, and he was like getting miffed that she wasn't responding. Where you at? Where you at?
And didn't he introduce like the prime minister of Mexico at one point, trying to figure out?
Yeah. Trying to figure out what his name was.
Yeah.
Hey, what's his name? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? And he got the C-3PO walk with the claw hands, and Jill, right after this, Jill, at the end, they had to run out there and grab him and usher him right back in. Remember when he got off Marine One, and instead of walking into the door of the White House, he just walked off into the bushes?
It's just gone. Or he was talking at the Amazon and he turned around to the rainforest. They should just let him go. Just see how long you can survive, Joe. Let's just be free.
Where's
free.
Joe going? Where's Joe going? We don't
Just
know.
be free.
Somewhere he's out there walking. It's like when Hillary Clinton lost the election and she put on the muumuu and went to the woods and nobody heard from her. That was glorious. Like she just wandered the woods in the muumuu, and I was happy about that. But there was the time that, there was time when Joe just recently started to kiss a blonde-haired woman at a campaign event. He thought it was Jill, and Jill went over there, snatched her out of the way. Then there was the time he bit Jill's finger when she was introducing him. I mean, remember this stuff?
It's
and then
crazy.
he introduced Jill as his mom or whatever that was, that whole thing. And then there was Uncle Bozy, that got eaten by the cannibals. I did a sketch bit on Uncle Bozy where I recorded, Uncle Bozy's diary. This guy, he lived in an apocryphal world, man. Just made it up as he went. Joe was Puerto Rican. Joe was Native American. Joe was Polish. Joe was Italian. Joe was black. Joe was Jewish. Joe was, he was
He taught the
lunch-pail
Constitution at the University of Penn at one point. I mean, dude, like Netflix could follow him around for the next like 4 to 5 years. I'd watch it. Like
Yeah.
I would. I would watch it. I would watch it.
Yeah, he's like that movie Big Fish. He's done it all. He has done
Every bit of it.
all.
Every bit of it.
And then number 17, the silicone. This was the day. This was the 4th of July. That's a guy, by the way. That's a man.
Do you know how long it took me to figure out that was an actually man?
Yeah, I know. You look at it for a while without even reading the details. But that was the transgender influencer, Rose Montoya, showing off his silicone breasts. This was the day, by the way, that the little baggie of cocaine was at the White House. If you go back and watch that clip of that night, this was the 4th of July celebration on a Friday. Sunday, they announced they found the bag of cocaine. If you go back and watch the Biden family, every one of them up on the mezzanine has a post-nasal drip. Even Jill sucking back a 3-pound booger at one point. But no more moobs on the White House lawn. We can get rid of that. We don't need any more pride flags hanging from the rafters at the White House. No more little baggies of cocaine. And I had questions. They didn't want to do it. They finally came out and said the bag of cocaine belonged to somebody in the Biden inner circle. Could have been Harris. Could have been Hunter.
Well, we all know who that belongs.
Well,
to.
if only we had a laptop with a hard drive that had hours of a dude doing videos of a dude doing blow off of a stripper.
This photo alone, like, really makes me feel sorry for you single guys out there. Like, it really does. Like, it makes me just grab Kendra tight every night, knowing that if I was out there in the single world, I'm sorry. That, to me, that looks like a chick.
Scroll up.
I'm just
I don't
telling
want
you,
to see it
I
no more.
feel sorry
Scroll
for you.
up.
Oh yeah, that's the.
Scroll up.
Feel sorry for you guys.
Here's the images inside the federal prison. This is number 18 that showed the Biden regime tortured January 6th protesters through the use of prolonged solitary confinement. We know this was happening. This was not just political prisoners, man. This was torture. I mean, it was torture.
Yeah, it's like that one guy, and Graham knows the guy. He lives in Arkansas, but he was the one the FBI raided his house when he wasn't home, and the safe company gave the FBI access to his safe, gave the FBI the master code to get in this dude's safe without his permission, violating, I don't know, 13 amendments to the Constitution.
Yeah,
but what they did.
Liberty Safe did that. They supplied the code, which made a lot of folks look twice at Liberty Safe about ever using them again. And I agree with you, Striker Jay. I do believe that bag of cocaine did belong to Kamala. I truly do believe that. I said that early on. I mean, Hunter was the easy guess, but I don't think that Hunter would have left his behind. I think that he would have kept it on him at all times. That's
a good point. That is a good point.
I think I still believe in there were, and I've got a past, folks. I've got a past. I've seen and done it all. So I'm telling you, I can see the signs. And old KH, Madam Harris, there she had a lot of indicators. A lot of indicators. Woo. But again, Trump, I want him pardoned. I want him brought home. If you're gonna preemptively pardon the January 6th Congress people that were over that commission, then we need to pardon these people today. Bring them home, put them in a limo, pay them back. And I will say also, back on the vaccine thing, all of the military that lost their positions because of their refusal to take the jab, Trump said today that they're going to be reinstated and they're going to get back pay. So that is huge.
Back pay, and they should receive the promotions they would have received in the years that they lost.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep. That's exactly right. All right. Then there was the mugshot. There was the political lawfare, of course, with all of the indictments against Trump. I was with Trump about a week after this was taken, and he was a cool cucumber, man. He was in good spirits. He was typical Trump, and but I was with him not long after this, and I was looking at him, and I was like, man, how can this guy be doing so good in such good spirits? 91 indictments and all this stuff after the mugshot, and because he's a tough dude. He's a tough dude, man. You think about everything Trump went through, everything they put him through, Todd.
Bro,
and he came back.
Man, I am telling you right now, I love y'all with all my heart, and I love my country. I wore the uniform for a long time. Nah. You arrest me, then you take a shot at me, I'm out. I'm moving to this dude has more money than he knows what to do with.
I'm with you, dude.
And I'm out, man. Yeah. I'm out. And and even as much as I love and voted for Donald Trump, not once, not twice, but 3 times, I wouldn't have been mad at him at all. But that just shows you, 1, his resolve, but 2, I mean, just his genuine love for this country. And he loves it more than I do. I just being real with you. He does, because my butt would have been gone the second that bullet tipped my ear. I'd have been, all right, that's enough. I'm out.
Well, and you know how many people were saying, what's Trump doing? Why does Trump carry it? Listen, Trump could have gone to a country of non-extradition. He could have jumped on his airplane and gone anywhere in the world and lived the rest of his life in luxury as a billionaire, and where they couldn't touch him. I mean, they could have done anything they wanted to do. But he didn't do it. He kept coming back. This guy's committed. Fighting. I mean, you got to appreciate that. Number 20, Jose Ibarra. That's of course, the murder of University of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley, 22 years old. They got him, put him on trial, put him in life in prison. It should have been far more than that. But that right there, that story captured so many people. That was a big indicator of the larger epidemic of illegals and violence in our country. She certainly wasn't the only one who suffered that fate. There were others across the country.
Yeah, several. Mothers, daughters.
Yes, the young Nungaray girl that was tortured and murdered, raped right here in the Houston area. Just a sad situation. But this right there, that is the face of Joe's open border policies.
That is, right there.
And the reason this was so strong in my mind is these murders happened as a direct result of federal policy that was enacted by the Biden administration. So the blood was literally on their hands.
Yep.
It's not just somebody got murdered because people kept saying, well, murder's always been illegal. Yeah, but these murders happened because of a policy that was passed.
Yep.
And so that's the deal. I mean, that's the face of it right there.
It is. And with don't misunderstand what I'm about to say. That the murder of Laken Riley and the rest of these women and these children pissed me off to no extent. But what aggravates me just as much, maybe a little bit more, is knowing the fact that now my tax dollars are feeding this bastard for the next 25, 40 years or however long.
Yeah.
That's the part that aggravates me the most. Like, I'm sorry, maybe I'm old school, or maybe I'm just an a-hole. I don't know. I think at this point right here, when they have substantiating evidence that they had against this dude, they had the phone calls, the videos, everything, you need to, you're guilty, yes, sir, this way, this room right here, done, call it a day, cremate the body, send the ashes to Venezuela.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And Maduro did empty the prisons in Venezuela. The most violent criminals, gang members, and violent offenders headed north. They emptied the prisons. They sent them up here. And the fact, Striker Jay, you make a great point. Make English great again. This is a fantastic point. He's listening to a translator because he doesn't know English. You want to come to this country, learn English.
Yeah.
I'm unequivocally unapologetic about that. This is America. You can be multilingual. I don't care, but you need to learn English. I don't want to have a prompt on the phone when I call in for customer service that I got to hit 8 if I want to hear it in Spanish. I don't want to hit ocho.
No, not at all.
I don't want to do it.
No. What do you honestly think that me and Chad Prather could go to Germany and they would just accommodate us?
They'd laugh in your face.
In a heartbeat. But no, we've got congressmen and women that are waving the Ukrainian flags inside the halls of Congress and changing the language at schools to benefit the illegal children that are coming across. I mean, it's ridiculous. We are the most accommodating country on the planet, and no other country in this world is going to go to the lengths that we'll go. It just pisses me off.
It does piss me off, too.
Bro, it's just,
make English the national language. People are like, that's so narrow-minded and restrictive. Yeah.
So?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what we want. You know who else is narrow-minded and restrictive? Jesus Christ, who said he's the only way to heaven. So maybe let's just get a little more restrictive about some things.
I'm sorry, I turned down my subscription to Rosetta Stone. Like, no, I'm good. I'll pass.
I don't need all this kind of stuff, man. I don't need all this kind of stuff. I love the old Paul Rodriguez comedy bit where he's like, "You're in America now, learn Spanish," you know. And so we can laugh about it, but at the same time, you know. And by the way, if you work at McDonald's, just quit interrupting me while I'm trying to place an order. I want a number one and a side of shut the McF up. Okay, because I can't understand what you're saying, and you're interrupting me, and I'm trying as hard as I can to kill myself one burger full of cholesterol at a time.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
So yeah, let's do it. American English. Listen, I don't really speak the King's English myself. I'm from Georgia originally. When I get around my family, Todd, you know what it's like. Y'all don't understand anything we're saying. I've had to mute my accent as much as I possibly can because I can get country as a mule's ass real fast.
Y'all just better think I'm 41 years old, buddy, because when I was about 16 or 17, I sounded like Boomhauer from King of the Hill. Like, I ain't exaggerating one bit. They called me the Mississippi Mud Duck in basic training. So don't even, man. I got carried to other drill sergeants and other companies just so they could hear me talk. Like, don't even, man.
Let's go. Brandon said, "This is America. We speak American."
That's
Ricky Bobby, baby.
Ricky Bobby.
Oh, speaking of the American justice system, Hunter Biden, number 21, he arrived at court headed to his the tax fraud and illegal firearms charge. Of course, he got the pardon. And even though Joe over and over again promised not to do so, we learned this morning during the inauguration that Joe has now pardoned his entire family. I said from the very beginning, just look for the James Biden. I said it when he pardoned him. I said it's a matter of time before he
Yep.
pardons his brother James. And everybody's like, he's not going to do that. Well, you also said that. You guys also said that about Hunter. But he did it anyway.
But
He did it
you
anyway.
watch. Ain't Trump supposed to be? Ain't Marshawn supposed to be sentencing him soon? Like, ain't that supposed to be happening? In,
Well,
like,
they, excuse me, they did it, but he basically commuted the sentencing so that it's however you define that. It's a commuted deal where basically he's been sentenced, but sentenced to nothing.
I'm fixing to say, if I was Donald Trump, I'd write a pardon for myself right now, just to piss everybody
Just
off.
go ahead and do it.
Just knock it out.
And which
This
leads
is for
us,
what I've done. This is for what I will do.
yeah, which leads us to number 22. Trump goes on trial in New York for the charges of falsifying business records. The same thing everybody's ever done that's ever been in business for anything. You put the wrong number in the wrong spot or whatever. I mean, I'm sorry, Donald Trump ain't out there balancing his checkbooks. It was a business expense. It was a campaign expense, right? He paid off Stormy Daniels. And, I mean, forget the fact that Congress just spent $17 million in hush money to people that were, accusing them of sexual harassment, but nobody's got a name or an audit on any of that money spent or who it was spent for.
Yeah.
So,
These are the same walking tards that said Mar-a-Lago was only worth $18 million.
$18 million.
Where the empty lot, empty, as in barren, as in nothing but sand and trees, empty lot next to it was worth like $42 million. Like,
Well,
dude, get out of here.
we went down there for dinner. We were down there for an event, had dinner with Trump, and I got on Realtor.com in the area, and in houses far smaller than the
I did
estate.
the same thing.
And I was like,
Insane.
these are worth $50 million, $70 million, $80 million. And you're going to tell me Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million? Come on.
This is
man.
and Mar-a-Lago's not a house. All right,
No.
it's a freaking compound.
It's a resort.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a resort. So you show me where you can get that for $18 million. All right, number 23 was the debate. This was the watershed issue, July 27th, 2024. This was the deal. Oh man, Joe Biden, and Trump had mercy on Joe that night. He did. If you go back and watch any of that debate, there were times where Trump really could have leveled the boom on the old man.
Yeah, the whole let's play golf thing.
Yeah.
He
And-
could have took him to the woodshed after that one.
Yeah, there were a few things that he said, and Joe said them, and Trump just kind of gave him the side eye. Oh, man. But that was the end of that. And, of course, then we got Kamala, man. Kamala took over as the Democratic nominee.
Joy!
And she's going to bring back the joy. It was going to be demure. And Tim, the horse guzzler Walls was her running mate.
Tampon, the teen
Tampon,
tickler.
Tim. Oh, man. And then, of course, number 25, the greatest comeback ever. That is the greatest comeback in the history of politics. Donald John Trump, the 47th. We made it, folks. We made it.
We did it.
We made it. Everybody was praying. Now the battle begins. Now the battle begins. Now, because you're going to get pushback on everything that they can do. You know, America comes together, as I said at the beginning, with the ceremonial pomp and circumstance at the beginning. But now they're going to go back to being enemies. They're going to try to do everything they can to stand in his way. They'll do everything they can to try to impeach him more and more. They're going to do all this stuff, and it's going to be just an absolute joke.
Oh, they'll find something.
They will.
They'll find something. You know, you were. I saw, and congratulations, by the way. I saw that your tweet about that psycho asking all the sexual questions for the candidates.
Mazie Hirono, the senator from Hawaii.
I saw that it was read out on Fox News, and I have a theory about that because she's asking all of them that, and this is what they do. They bait you, and so here they go. The answer's no senator, no senator, no senator. 2-3 weeks from now, some unknown source, which is a keyboard, finds something that, you know, Bondi or Hegseth or, you know, Doug Burgum, which nobody wants to, I mean, I love you, dude, but nobody wants to have sex with you, and a couple of these other ones, and that's why they answer the question, because now they can charge them with perjury.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Because and again, it's not on the basis of anything proven; it's on the basis of an accusation.
Exactly.
So, yeah, here we are. Hey, but we got a couple of more things to get into, and of course, we're going to do the super chats. Before we do that, I want you to go visit our friends over at Birch Gold. Actually, what I want you to do is I want you to text the name CHAD, I spell it Chad, to 989898. That's the number. Our friends over at Birch Gold want to make sure that they have you taken care of when it comes to your financial future and your security. You can move your IRA and your retirement account over into one that is backed by real gold. It is safer. It is more secure. Shoot them a text, Birch Gold. Shoot them a text. Just my name, Chad, to 989898. They will send you a free, no obligation information kit that will tell you what it means to diversify over to precious metals. You got that retirement account. Maybe you've got an old one sitting there that's not accruing anything anymore. It's just sitting there because maybe it's a former employer. Move it over there with the folks at Birch Gold. Let them take care of it. They know what they're doing. They're good folks, and they believe like you and me do. So text Chad to 989898 and build a relationship with the folks at Birch Gold. They will take care of you.
Yes, they will.
Oh boy! So Graham and Royce, they're in D.C. Of course, their plans changed a little bit. Todd, you and I were smart. Me, you, and Tony, we stayed behind. We didn't go, and I'm glad I didn't go. I upset some people because I had to cancel being at some events. But I was like, I prayed about it and I ain't going.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you.
I prayed about it and I ain't going.
No, it's cold.
Yeah,
it's cold.
And we've had a good time filling in for Graham. We had 20,000 active viewers this morning on the Dear America show, and we kept them the entire 3 hours. And I don't say that we kept them; they were just faithful to do it. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to grow all of these shows, trying to grow my show. This is a weird time spot for me. I've been all over the time slots throughout the day over the years. And, Graham has honored me by letting me be a part of the Dear America family and do this. And, Graham and I go back over a decade. And so it's been a huge honor to be able to do the Dear America show this last 2 weeks. And I don't even know when Graham's coming back. Is he back tomorrow or the day after?
Man, I don't
When's
know.
Royce coming back? Do we know?
I don't know.
Well,
I ain't got a clue, man.
I don't know either. So I do encourage everybody, help us grow. Subscribe where you can, watch when you can, or go back and watch later on. Go to where the podcasts are offered, leave the ratings and review, like, subscribe, do all those things, man. I know you get tired of us saying it, but, man, it sure does help us. And we get to talk for a living, and sometimes it's kind of hard to make a living talking. But it helps when we got a faithful audience like you guys, man. And what a blessing it is. Todd, you got your show. You're Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah, I am.
Right?
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 5 p.m. Your time, 4 p.m. or their time, 4 p.m. Jesus time.
Yeah. I always call it Texas time, but you're in Mississippi, so
That's right. Same thing.
So, yeah, check that out. And, man, it's been a blast. What did we not get into? I posted the thing that went kind of viral yesterday about Elizabeth Warren celebrating.
Yeah, let me pull up because this pissed me off.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren celebrating with Donald Trump on the stage at the victory rally.
Because I was literally in the middle of typing it. And I'm not kidding you. I was in the middle of typing this. And I look up, and somebody beat me to it, and I was pissed. I was so mad.
That's so funny.
I was so mad.
But basically, I threw the picture up there.
Bam! There it is.
Yeah, there it is. There's Elizabeth Warren celebrating with Donald Trump. Of course, the village people were there, and of course, this is the Native American. This is the Indian village guy. I will go on record as saying that you can't call Donald Trump a homophobe anymore.
Ever.
When you have this group of guys up there that historically have been a little bit, that way. Not even a little bit.
Not a lot of it.
Singing the gay man national anthem, which Trump has, even created a dance to. So they were out there in full regalia, whatever that word is. So Oh my gosh, dude! What
It
a
was
crazy
great.
crazy
It
mess.
was great.
What a party, dude! It's been a crazy 4 years. Looking back, I'm glad we're over them. We'll see how much of the residue still tends to drip off into our lives, but man, I hope we've turned a corner and we're about to do some great things in this country. I hope we're about to see some great things happen, dude. Whew, boy, oh boy. You guys go follow Todd on Instagram and on X at Todd Spears 1776. You can find me at Watch Chad on both of those as well. And you can go to watchchad.com. I will be in Austin, in Waco, and in Granbury, Texas, which is just south of Fort Worth, next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. My full schedule, watchchad.com for my live shows. We just got done over in Fredericksburg, Texas. And so, yeah, we're braving the cold down here. It's an Arctic tundra in South Texas. So I want everybody to stay safe out there if you're dealing with the weather. And definitely keep your head on a swivel because things are going to get crazy as we move
It's
forward.
gonna get nuts, I promise you.
Yeah.
Just remember, though, it's always darkest before the dawn. So just
It's
hold
coming.
on,
It's
folks.
coming. Have we got some super chats we can talk about?
we
Let's
do.
jump
We
into
got-
those real
we got
quick.
one right here. We got a couple on the Rumble that's not showing on the software, but I got them pulled up anyway.
I have no idea what I'm looking at anymore. It's crazy.
I got it. You got Ghost Ride 257. The inauguration stream is gone. The 4-hour stream, it's gone under copyright for some reason. It's probably YouTube. YouTube probably
so.
kicked us off for copyright. They suck.
Probably so. Yeah.
Got this
Can't
one
have
here.
nice things anymore.
Yeah, you can't. And you know what's so funny about it is like they call it for copyright. You know what I use to stream it? YouTube TV that
YouTube
I pay
TV.
for.
Yeah.
How can you copyright something you pay? I got nothing. I hate YouTube.
I know. I
That's
love
why
it.
I'm not on it.
The Google overlords, dude. That's
yep.
why I've moved everything I can to Rumble.
Yep, for real. Freedom Lemons. I'm all about doing. This actually pretty good thought here. I'm all about doing that for the military, talking about the vaccine. But what about the healthcare people like my wife that had the same thing happen to them?
Yep.
I can't disagree with you, bud.
don't-
Like
not-
at
not
all.
at all.
Like
Not at
I
all.
really can't. They should be given their job back and back pay. 100% agree with that.
I agree.
I do.
It was criminal what they did.
From
It was criminal.
D-Weed 77, there's videos showing President Trump did not have his hand on the Bible when he took the oath. Can someone verify this?
I look back at that video because somebody else was speculating on that. It looked to me, because you can't really see it, looked to me like, because you got
him and Melania were holding it together,
you had
weren't
Melania that was there, and then she was off to his side, and then right behind him, it looked like he had his hand like right down to his side, which was kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
In regards to that, it looked like he was right there, but because I was looking at it, and from the angle, it looked like he had his hand down beside him with the right hand up, taking the oath. So, I wouldn't worry about that too much. I'm pretty sure that they got that thing covered because Donald Trump he cares about making sure that he's been bitten in the rear end by too many faux pas over the years. I promise you, he cares about that little detail.
I haven't even been on X yet. I haven't because I've been producing since 8 o'clock this morning. But I promise you, just go to Harry Sisson's page. He'll tell you the truth. I
He'll tell you
guarantee you. He's an
everything.
illegitimate president. He didn't have his hand on the Bible. I watch.
Yeah.
From Caddy Highlander, being a military vet, the whole watching his royally pisses me off. Most veterans around me off big time. He's not a commander in chief, but a moron in chief. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, trust me. I'm really glad that I retired before he became president. That would have been rough for me. Alicia Victoria, 88. I live in downtown California, not far from me. They have done Palestine protests. My boyfriend lives close, but he's at the fires. He is stressed. I have my flag out still. Would you agree I bring it in? I don't own guns. Young lady, it's just my personal opinion. If your boyfriend, husband, person's not home, if you do not have the weapons and the means and ways to protect yourself, I would bring mine in. I would. Don't give people an excuse. And secondly, move to Mississippi. You and your boyfriend. You can put all the flags you want out, and ain't nobody gonna say a word. Matter of fact, somebody will probably honk and wave at you.
Yeah. When we say be cautious and be careful and be wise, I think that's one of those things. If it were one of my daughters, I would say bring it on in. There's no need to make yourself a target. That doesn't take anything away from your support and your pride. So bring that thing on in and take care of yourself.
Yeah. Be very, very careful because there are some idiots in the world, unfortunately, Alicia. And that is it. That is all.
That was reasonably painless. Reasonably painless.
Yes.
Todd, I don't even know. Can we see how many likes did we get on Graham's thing? I don't even know on this
As
thing.
it stands right
Did you
now,
get 30?
On Graham's, there's 161 likes. On Chad's, there are 77 likes. So
Look
look,
at
do,
us.
do us a favor on your way out, okay? Look, it doesn't cost you anything. I need you to do two things for Chad, okay? Chad's been doing this a long time, and dude, he's a man among boys in this world. All right. I mean, he is. So on your way out, we're wrapping things up. Hit that like button on your way out. But also, if you're on Graham's channel right now, which right now there's almost 1,000 of you. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do just for you guys. Copy. Check this out. I'm going to paste this here. There is a pinned chat in the comment section.
I see it.
From me. All right, and what I need you to do, guys, is I need you to click that pinned chat. It's going to take you straight to this stream on Chad's channel. So I need you to come on over to Chad's channel and hit that follow button.
Hit the
All right,
follow
hit
button.
that follow button for my man Chad Prather.
Yeah,
see
I'll
if we
take
can't
it.
get him about 100 more extra followers today, if not more.
You
so
know, thank
hit
you
the
for
like
that.
button. Yeah, man, of
I
course.
have been, I have been throttled and censored. You know, I got 373 something thousand subscribers on YouTube, and we might get 1,000, 2,000 views out of the whole thing. I mean, we've been throttled and censored so bad. They came after me, and the reason they came after me so bad is for the, quote, medical misinformation, because we were telling the dadgum truth about all of this stuff. And, they came after us, and they shut us down every way that they could. And I've never backed off. I've never feared. I've just said, you know what, we're going to tell the truth. And we're going to keep pushing through. If they deplatform me, demonetize me, which I've never really made money off of social media, because again, I get throttled too bad. So this idea that we're out here making millions of dollars off of social, I promise
It
you, we're
ain't
not.
true.
We're not.
It ain't true.
We're working our butts off to try to come out here and not only give you information, but entertain you along the way. And but this is a monumental, historic day, folks. You guys have lived through history. What a time to be alive. It is a good thing. God is good. And I'm so thankful that Donald Trump is now the 47th president of the United States. Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Oof. Yeah. Thank you for subscribing. Do the same for Todd. Tune into the hot seat tomorrow. Todd and I'll be back tomorrow morning, 9/8 Central for Dear America. And I think we might have old Tony back with us too. Is he coming back around? Or have we heard? We don't know, do we?
I don't know until like the night of.
I don't ever know till they show up. They don't tell me anything.
Welcome to my world.
People, Graham tell me something, and I'm like, he called me on the phone the other day. I was like, dude, let me know something. I don't know what's going on around here. These are your people. All right, buddy, we'll get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Watch Chad.com. Follow Todd. Follow me. Do all the good things. We love y'all so much. We're going to see you tomorrow morning. Get yourself a breath of fresh air, and it smells like freedom, and enjoy it. I'm going to go light that cigar finally and smoke that sucker. I love you guys. For Todd, Chad Prather, God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Bye.